The capital of Sudan is Khartoum. The population of Sudan is 40.53 million. 52% of the population is black and 39% is Arab. A huge portion of their country is Islam. The life expectancy is 63 years for men and 66 years for women. The North and the South split in 2001 because the South wanted independence. The North is mostly Arab and the South is mostly Christian. A big part of Sudan's culture is Islam, so they celebrate a lot of Islamic holidays like Ramadan. Performing music is banned in public, but the individual tribes have their own music that is different from other areas and tribes. The marriages in Sudan are often arranged, and on their wedding day, the bride and groom are often covered in henna, and that is a significant piece of their culture. Sudanese people sit on cushions on the ground to eat their meals. Their day usually starts off with coffee or tea in the morning, along with breakfast, and millet is a staple food that they eat with most of their meals, along with beans. Sudanese people, some of them believe in animism, which means that every living thing has a spirit, like trees or plants. Sheep are often killed in feasts or as an honor. Sudanese people are very hospitable. That is in their culture to be very welcoming. The government of Sudan is supposed to be a federal republic, which means it is a nation of states with an elected leader. They did have a president who was the head of state and government. And there are 26 states in Sudan, and each have an appointed governor. Their court system has civil courts and religious courts that rule under Islamic law. Sudan is under control of the military now. As of April, Lieutenant Governor Abdel Fattah al-Burhan is now in control as head of state until new leadership is officially decided. The army overthrew the president who was in charge for nearly 30 years for economic reasons. Sudan has a stable economy due to oil production, but since the North and South split, 3/4 of the oil is in South Sudan, and North Sudan is facing economic hardship because of it. Half of the population is at or below the poverty line. They tried to introduce a new currency, but the value dropped immediately. Inflation had gone up one year to 47% and then dropped 35% the next year, so their economy is never very stable. Another thing that is unstable is their relationship with the U.S. They broke their diplomatic relations in 1967 because of the Arab-Israeli War. Their relationship improved in 1971 when Numeri was overthrown because he was a Soviet. The U.S. had helped the resettlement of refugees after we had made a peace settlement with Sudan. In May 2000, we established a cooperation against terrorism together. Sudan's allies are Russia, China, Ethiopia, Morocco, and they are also a part of the UN. Their main struggle is a civil war that is happening right now between the North and the South. The war came about because of differentiating ethnic groups, but now the two sections are fighting over oil since the South has 3/4 of it and the North also needs it. But the South is too underdeveloped to drill and produce it, so the North is not getting the oil supply that they need for their country and is not getting the opportunity to gain wealth from it. For the domestic news, there is a talk between the military that is in charge and the protest leaders in the past week. The protest leaders are part of a group who want civilians to lead the country. The talk did not go well, and they had violent clashes in the capital for the second time this week. Security officials opened fire on the protesters, which only made the situation worse and more violent. For foreign news, since the military coup a couple of weeks ago, Sudan and Turkey's relationship looks like it will be mended. Turkey is now willing to support Sudan because the leader is not Muslim anymore. As long as the leadership is not taken by Muslims, Turkey will support them. Other nations such as Iran and UAE are also happy to see Bashir go, who was the president, and are waiting for the dust to settle and a new leadership is decided to continue relations. Sudan is a country that has been through a lot of conflict, especially recently, but they are working towards peace and ways to gain wealth after they lost most of their oil.
Surrounding the topic of oil.